Ziceți că a fost rigged meciul de ieri, da? Argentina-Anglia. A fost rigged. 2-1 s-a terminat. Și voi ziceți că a fost rigged, așa-i? Hai să vedem, uite că am găsit un video bun cu care să începem stream-ul. De ce social media-ul este dead wrong about Argentina?
Making people lose their minds. He's been so dominant that some people have actually convinced themselves it has to be rigged. At this point, playing Argentina has become a win-win for their competitors. If you beat Argentina, you can say, well, hey, we just beat the defending world champions. And if you lose, just call them corrupt, say that FIFA rigged the tournament for them, get the support of all the casuals and the people that don't watch the games properly, and boom, you never have to take accountability for what happened on the footballing pitch. The whole FIFA is rigging the World Cup for Messi and Argentina narrative isn't new. It's been around ever since the 2022 World Cup. At first, it mostly came from Ronaldo fans, who I jokingly call the Portuguese Homelander fanbase / cult, who were trying to cope with Messi winning the most prestigious tournament in world football as the best player. You know, the same trophy that used to be Ronaldo's dream, then he changed it after Messi won.
Bro, Ronaldo nu a câștigat niciodată un mondial? Never, never. Gen, n-are niciun mondial. Bro, unde e caption-ul? Aici. Mă enervează cum e. Onside. Nu, las că e bine.
Tournament that he considers just 7 games.
But World Cup, it's a dream. It's a dream.
It's a dream to win the World Cup. No, it's not a dream.
But World Cup, it's a dream.
But the World Cup is rigged narrative has now exploded. It's literally everywhere. It feels impossible to open any social media app without seeing posts accusing Argentina of corruption, claiming matches are fixed, or saying FIFA is handing Messi another World Cup. And the craziest part is who's posting it. I'm seeing accounts that have never talked about football making posts saying that Argentina have rigged the World Cup. I'm seeing people that were previously praising Messi say that he's...
Păi stai că din 2022 până acum s-a inventat o chestie, s-a inventat monetizarea pe Twitter, pe X. Și normal că postează toți ăștia care fac rage bait, chestii de genul, ca să facă o grămadă de views, ca să aibă monetizarea bună pe postările alea, pentru că e hype subiectul.
Corrupt now. We're watching in real time one of the biggest smear campaigns ever seen around football. Also, if the games are rigged, how come the people who think this don't put all of their money on Argentina to win? If you knew something was predetermined, wouldn't you want to financially benefit from this? How about some of you guys put your money where your mouth is, if you think it's actually rigged?
Well, I'm waiting for your fucking response. Are you just not gonna say anything, dumbass?
Social media during this World Cup has felt less like football and more like following election coverage. Every incident gets clipped a certain way, framed a certain way, and repeated over and over until people stop questioning it and just accept it as fact. And it all really started after Argentina's match against Algeria. Argentina won 3-0 comfortably, but the final score was not the biggest talking point. Messi stole the headlines with a brilliant hat-trick. But after the match, much of the discussion centered around a challenge that had nothing to do with his goals. Around the half-hour mark, Messi caught Algerian defensa Mendy on the lower leg. Now, the Algerian Football Federation lodged an official complaint with FIFA, arguing that Messi should have been sent off and accusing the officials of giving special treatment to football's biggest star. However, the replay told a different story. While the challenge certainly deserved a yellow card for being reckless, it did not meet the standard for serious foul play under the laws of the game. Messi's tackle was made at relatively low speed, his studs were launched dangerously into the challenge, and there was no excessive force or brutality. As Mendy stepped forward, his leg naturally came down into the path of Messi's sliding boot, creating contact that looked worse at full speed than it actually was. That's an important distinction. A reckless tackle is a yellow card. A challenge only becomes a red when it clearly endangers an opponent through excessive force or a dangerous lunge. Go look at Kwanzaa's tackle versus Mexico. Because VAR cannot intervene to upgrade a missed yellow card, the decision...
Bă, eu am jucat fotbal, fii atent, în echipa școlii, frate. În echipa școlii și am avut odată un meci, bă, și era unul bun în cealaltă echipă, eram pe clasa 1-a. Și era unul bun în cealaltă echipă de mă enerva pe mine și cariera mea de fotbal s-a încheiat în punctul în care mi-am băgat și m-am dus, l-am faultat pe ăla, mâncața și i-am rupt glezna. Nu i-am rupt glezna pe bune, dar așa, i-am dat în gleznă să mor eu așa. Zici că i-am rupt glezna. O zis, stai că mi-și-au pus mâinile în cap. O zis, bă, copile, ioi. Da, poate că fotbalul nu e de tine. Și după aia m-am dus și am făcut basket și într-adevăr basketul a fost de mine.
What's funny is that the refs have been quite consistent with their decisions when it comes to these kind of fouls throughout the tournament. Alireza Jahanbakhsh had a way worse stamp on Trossard that caused the guy's calves to bleed and it wasn't booked. Hakimi stepped on Vinny's ankle and it wasn't even called a foul. Yet every time there was a bad reffing decision, these guys immediately think of Messi. It's hilarious. Like, nobody's talking about the fact that Konsa scissor kicked a Ghanaian player and it never even went to VAR. People are just obsessed with Messi and discrediting him. Then we get to the game versus Austria. Argentina.
Bă, Messi arată foarte funny cu aia. Nu vi se pare că arată foarte funny?
Obsessed with.
Bro, seamănă cu cineva, dar nu știu cu cine. Bă, seamănă cu cineva, bă, dar nu știu cu cine. Bă, nu, știu cu cine. Știu cu cine. Iuuu! Cu Ciucea. Ciucea Prime. Bro, seamănă cu Ciucea Prime. Jur. Bro, uite ce prost merge TikTok-ul, man. You. Boom. Regele. Regele, the goat, bro. The goat.
With Messi and discrediting him. Then we get to the game versus Austria. Argentina.
Am fost la Beach Please doar 3 ore.
Booked their place in the knockout rounds with a hard-fought 2-0 win. But again, after the match, the biggest talking point had nothing to do with the result. It was the build-up to Messi's opening goal. Austria's manager, Ralf Rangnick, was furious, arguing that McAllister had fouled moments before the goal. Looking at the replay, though, the challenge was perfectly legal. McAllister didn't push, trip, or lunge into Schläger. Both players were competing for the same ball, and the Argentine simply used his body strength to protect possession before continuing the attack. Under the laws of the game, that kind of physical contest is completely legal. Just as importantly, the ref had a clear, unobstructed view of the incident and immediately judged it to be fair. Since there was no obvious mistake, VAR had no reason to intervene. I know this is hard for some of those people to accept, but facts don't care about your feelings. Just because you don't like Messi or you don't like Argentina or you just happen to be supporting the nation that they're playing, that doesn't mean that we just throw the rules of the rule book out the window. The weeping about bad calls continued into the game against Cape Verde. They pointed to 3 moments in particular. The late whistle after a foul on Lionel Messi, the quick restart before Vozinha had finished time to organize his wall, and the decision to add only 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of extra time. However, all 3 decisions were consistent with standard refereeing practice. The first complaint, the delayed whistle after Messi was fouled, was just textbook application of the advantage rule. Instead of stopping play immediately...
Nu! Bă, dar așa mare e hate-ul pe Argentina? Așa de mare e hate-ul pe Argentina? Chiar așa de rigged e totul?
The ref briefly waited to see if Argentina could continue their attack. Once it became clear that no advantage existed, he brought the play back correctly and awarded the free kick. That's exactly how refs are instructed to apply the...
Bă, eu personal vreau să câștige Spania. Pentru că mi se pare boring așa să câștige o țară de 2 ori la rând. Nu e boring un pic să câștige 2 ori la rând aceeași țară, low-key boring.
Law. The second complaint focused on the free kick restart, but if you watch match footage, you can hear the ref blow his whistle, and he did it only after Vozinha was standing in the middle of his goal, signaling that play could resume. It was Vozinha then who chose to continue adjusting his position and the wall after the whistle had already gone. If that went in, it would have been a mistake by Vozinha, not an error by the ref. All the complaints about Messi taking that free kick quickly came from people who were watching football for the very first time at the World Cup. Like, that was their first experience watching high-level football. The other people complaining were just hypocrites. I exposed one guy on Twitter who was weeping about Messi trying to score from the free kick before Vozinha was fully set up. But then when you go through his account, he was constantly praising Trent for taking the corner quickly. These morons, man. Finally, there was criticism over the 3 minutes of added time at the end of extra time. But the 3 minutes had passed by when the ref blew his whistle.
Băiatul ăsta e mare fan Messi. Uite-te și tu, ești nebun? Mega fan Messi e băiatul ăsta de-a făcut clipul. Se ceartă cu ăștia pe Twitter, frate. Dom'le, ești nebun ăsta, și-a făcut misiune să-l apere pe Messi.
Sure, he could have had them play longer, but it's not rigged to stop it there. The conspiracy theories reached another level in the round of 16, down 2-0 with less than 25 minutes to
Au vrut să o excludă pe Argentina? E real, chat? Chiar au vrut să o excludă pe Argentina?
play. Argentina staged an incredible comeback to win 3-2. But after the final whistle, Egypt's players and the coaching staff insisted that the match had been rigged to keep Messi and Argentina in the tournament. The frustration centered around two big decisions. The first came in the 58th minute when Mustafa Zico thought he had scored, only for VAR.
S-a semnat ceva petiție? I mean, come on, bro, au semnat oamenii petiție, ești nebun? Hai să fim sinceri. Zic fanii Ronaldo că îți mad pe Messi că e mai bun decât Ronaldo și fac petiție pe internet și se ajunge mare petiția și acum trebuie să scoată pentru că au făcut fanii lui Ronaldo o petiție. Trebuie să scoată o țară întreagă că au făcut niște fani butthurt petiție, ești nebun. Normal că nu o să scoată, the fuck? Eu credeam că a fost ceva oficial.
To rule the goal out. The second was a late penalty appeal after Alexis McAllister appeared to grab Hamdi Fati's shirt inside the box. Both decisions caused people to lose their minds. There was so much debate online. Even the Egyptian manager and players were freaking out and crashing out. Generational crash out. But under the laws of the game, the officials applied the rules correctly.
5 milioane de oameni au semnat petiția aia. Holy fuck! Mamă, deci înseamnă că e dramă gigantică în legătură cu chestia asta. Dacă ăștia de pe YouTube care vă uitați acum la clipul ăsta, nu fiți mai pe mine că nu știu chestiile astea. N-am cum să învăț chestiile astea dacă nu mă informez și dacă nu învăț, nu?
The disallowed goal came because VAR spotted a foul by Marwan Attia at the very start of the counter, before Egypt broke away.
10 milioane acum! Jesus!
Attia clearly pulled Lisandro Martinez's shirt and stepped on his foot to win possession. Since Argentina never regained the ball after that challenge, the entire attack counted as one continuous attacking phase. That's exactly what VAR is designed to review.
Egypt scored in this situation, but after an awful review, the referee cancelled the goal. So what happened here was that Egypt got the ball in their own half very far back and then started an attack. And this attack led to a goal. So when you look at the situation when Egypt got the ball, the Egyptian player accidentally stepped on the opponent's foot, and this is an offense. Then you need to look at the VAR protocol. It says that if an attacking team makes an offense in the build-up to the goal, VAR can intervene. And if you look at the situation, after the offense, Egypt kept possession of the ball all the way until the goal was scored. And after the offense, it started an attack. So this was during the build-up to the goal. So therefore, VAR can intervene in this situation, and it was the correct decision.
What? Deci dintr-o parte în alta a terenului poate să intervină VAR-ul și dacă faza s-a întâmplat în cealaltă parte a terenului și faza aia a fost build-up, de exemplu, pentru un gol și după aia poți să ceri VAR și să ți se anuleze toată faza care s-a întâmplat 100 de kilometri în spate. Crazy.
Free kick has to be called here for an offense in the build-up to the goal.
You can make the argument that it's a soft call, but it's not an illegal or incorrect one. Then Egypt's late penalty appeals were also rejected
Păi nu așa s-a întâmplat aici. În cazul ăsta, nu asta s-a întâmplat?
for good reason. While McAllister briefly grabbed Fati's shirt during a crowded corner, this contact is minimal, and it definitely didn't prevent him from challenging for the ball. If you're gonna call that a pen, you might as well call a pen on every single corner and set piece, because on all of those occasions, there's WrestleMania / UFC pay-per-view happening in the box, so you can't just pick and choose if you're gonna call that. Then there were people weeping about a foul on Salah, saying it was the same situation as the Martinez one. It was not.
Deci dacă e build-up, da, de-aia avem VAR ca să nu mai plângă ăștia ce plângeau cu 200 de ani că e rict pentru Barcelona că nu e VAR și acum plâng pentru Argentina că e VAR.
Salah was dispossessed fairly, already falling, and there was minimal contact on his other foot.
I'm sorry, guys. I know everyone would like for this to fit the worldview that there's a conspiracy against small teams like Egypt and Austria in favor of big teams like Messi and Argentina, but that's just not the case here. Salah is dribbling towards goal.
Da, mă, da, real vorbind, de exemplu, o conspirație n-ar trebui să fie că, de exemplu, de fiecare dată să lasi un underdog să ajungă până în finală. Bro, tu îți dai seama cât de hardcore ar fi finala dintr-o țară, nu știu, ca Egipt, de exemplu, versus o țară ca Argentina? Mi se pare mult mai hardcore decât Franța, nu știu. Franța, Spania, I guess. Gen, da, să echipe mari cu player buni. Dar, bă, cel mai șmecher e să vezi underdogs că câștigă. Și să ții cu underdogs, you know? Toată planeta o ține cu underdogs. Și dacă și câștigă, insane.
It's a little bit of a loose touch. This shows too much of the ball to.
Gen așa acolo, uite, eu dacă aș fi fost de ăsta, eu țineam cu underdogs. Făceam să fie jocul rigged, să ajungă un underdog în fiecare ediție în finală. Hai de viața mea, tu îți dai seama ce ar crește ratingurile.
The defender from Argentina, defender is going to poke the ball through legs, and he puts his foot down behind him. Salah's inertia, momentum takes him forward, and he is going to trip over the Argentinian player. That's right, Argentinian player.
Dacă era rigged, era Messi versus Ronaldo în finală și erau miliarde de oameni care se uitau. Real și asta, vezi?
Player is not initiating contact. It's not
adevărat, uite, asta ar fi fost mai hype decât un underdog, da.
Or sliding into the opponent or anything of that nature. Ball's gone, he's trying to move around him. Salah falls over. Okay, it's not a foul. It's not a foul at grassroots at U10, and it's certainly not a foul, in the World Cup. Okay, I'm sorry. I know it would make you feel better if it was a conspiracy and that VAR, didn't look at this and they should have, and it was a clear and obvious error. It's not a foul.
In fact, even Salah himself and his teammates didn't argue in real time, which is usually the perfect indicator that nothing was done wrong. If the game was rigged, how did Messi miss the pen? Also, was it the referee's fault that Marmoush messed up a 4v1 counterattack?
Yo!
These guys conceded 3 goals from open play in like 10 minutes, and instead of taking accountability for crashing out and losing their cool mentally, they immediately went to the corruption charges and calling the game rigged. The lack of accountability seen from Egypt made me lose all the respect that I had for them for playing so well for the first 80 minutes. Couple of things that I wanted.
N-ar fi avut audiențe foarte mari cu underdogs în finală, am văzut asta și în Champions League, echipele mari aduc audiențe mari. Bă, da, I guess, fotbalul totuși este un joc unde un sport, unde lumea are o echipă de suflet la care se uită mereu. Nu e ca la alte sporturi. Că, uite, de exemplu, pentru mine, personal, mi s-ar părea foarte, foarte entertaining să vezi un Cinderella story, să zic așa. Un underdog care ajunge în finale și câștigă, mi s-ar părea hard.
Add in, since I found out about them after I had recorded the original video. The first one is that after some research, I found out that Egypt's coach had also said that AFCON is rigged for Senegal when Egypt lost in the African Cup of Nations.
Before last match against Cote d'Ivoire, that is not fair.
Bă, dar tot ești nebună să zice că totul e rigged. Și cu Senegalul și cu tot e rigged, ești nebun? Egiptul e cea mai mită echipă din istorie.
The same field for Senegal. That is not fair.
For Hossam Hassan, everything is okay when his team wins, but when they lose, it's corruption. Here's also a video of this guy assaulting a photographer right on the pitch. He ended up getting detained for this. So a video of this guy assaulting a photographer right on the pitch. He ended up getting detained for this. Then there's this clip of him making the gesture for racism on the pitch. If you guys didn't know, FIFA implemented a rule where if you make an X with your arms, you're essentially telling the ref to stop the play because you've noticed an incident of racism. Well, Hossam did it, but nothing happened. And you want to know how we know that no racism happened? His own players and staff were telling him, buddy, calm down. Never a good sign. Then lastly, I wanted to add something that I saw nobody talk about. Zico, the player on Egypt, should have received a yellow card for removing his shirt. Even though the goal was disallowed, that's the rule. You still get a booking. But nobody complained about this, because people don't actually care about what's true or how the game is ref. They have a narrative that they want to push.
And as a goal celebration, he took off his shirt, and even if a goal is disallowed, a yellow card must be given here for unsporting behavior, for taking...
Messi nu mai are voie în Egipt? De ce nu mai are Messi voie în Egipt? Pentru că o bătut Egiptul? What the fuck? E banned for life din Egipt, că o bătut echipa Egiptului.
Taking off the shirt to
That's
celebrate
crazy.
But referee did not give a yellow card here, and that is incorrect.
It's crazy how a narrative...
Sunt fake news? I-au dat bani, gen așa, streets. The streets banned him.
that was pushed
Ca
as
Los
quote from a
Polos.
certain fan base in
Nici ăla n-are
2022
voie în
has
multe
now become
locuri.
a worldwide gaslighting session. Back then, they wanted Messi to get a yellow for a handball, but under the laws of the game, a deliberate handball is not automatically a booking. A yellow card is only required if the handball stops a promising attack, breaks up a dangerous counter, or is used tactically to gain a significant advantage. In that case that they always bring up, Messi handled the ball near the halfway line with Nathan Ake immediately behind him. The Netherlands were not launching a dangerous counterattack, nor were they in a promising transition with space to exploit. As a result, the handball did not meet the criteria for a yellow card. Not to mention that I'm pretty sure he had played advantage early on, so he was always going to bring the ball back anyways. Then there were people weeping about the pens that were legit pens. Dembele hit Di Maria's foot. Livakovic took Julian Alvarez out. Dumfries took down Acuna in the box. These are all pens. The only pen call that I disagreed with was the one versus Poland, and Messi missed that one anyway, so who cared? If the game had been truly rigged to help Argentina win, why would the ref add an additional 10 minutes in stoppage time for the Dutch? It was in the 101st minute that Weghorst scored that dramatic equalizer. If the ref's objective had been to guarantee an Argentina win, the easiest thing to do would have been to blow for full time well before that moment. The same logic applies to the World Cup final. If FIFA had been truly determined to hand Messi the trophy at all costs, why would the ref have awarded France 2 penalties, both converted by Kylian Mbappe? Those decisions alone undermine the idea that everything was scripted.
Doamnea mea de meditații, care e 50% egipteană, și-a pus poster de ăla cu Messi, că n-are voie să vină cu X and shit. Doamna de meditații, bro, o pus poster anti-Messi. Yo.
And predetermined. My favorite thing is also that when Mbappe scores pens in the World Cup, he's ice cold, he's skilled, he's an absolute beast. When Messi scores pens, when he scores them, because this brother misses a lot, it's now pessy, the game is corrupt, it's rigged, they wanted him to score pens. It's the real life application of that flirting versus harassment meme that I see on the internet. In the end, all of these conspiracy theories fall apart under scrutiny. Argentina still had to survive extra time and win a penalty shootout against the Netherlands. Then they had to overcome one of the greatest individual performances in World Cup history from Mbappe in the final. They became world champions because they earned it on the pitch, not because the tournament was scripted in their favor. This whole rigged nonsense is just free engagement for these accounts. They post anything they want and it gets 1 million views, 100k likes. Some of these people are directly contradicting themselves because often in their posts, their caption doesn't even match the video. Like there was one dude complaining that Argentina didn't deserve their pen versus Egypt while showing a video of a stone cold penalty. It's pretty ridiculous when you think about it. Also, if FIFA actually had the power to rig these games that easily, why would they stop at just helping Argentina? Why wouldn't they set up the biggest possible final like Portugal versus Argentina so that Messi plays against Ronaldo on the biggest stage in the USA? At this point, there's nothing to analyze. Some people have to jump to conspiracy theories to cope because they can't believe the greatness on their screen. Instead of appreciating one of the best matches of the tournament, everyone's trying to rewrite it and convince everyone else that it was fixed. The only good thing about Argentina eventually getting eliminated, if it happens, is that maybe the conversation can finally go back to football. Watching people try to discredit every Argentina win has been exhausting. The mental gymnastics have been unbelievable. So many of these posts don't even make sense anymore. Now to see just how good Messi has been at the World Cup, despite almost being 40, being so good that everyone's calling it rigged again, you gotta watch this video right here.
Bă, da, deci toți, chat, este sau nu este rigged? Neon got kicked out of the France vs Spain World Cup match. Then Mbappe outfit caused chaos after the camera caught the salute. Hey, yo, bro.
I'm wearing a general outfit. No, you're a little short, Tiny.
Coi. Doamne, bro.
Okay, alright, bye. I was on the jump.
Crazy. Nu e rigged, ba e rigged, este rigged, este, nu este. Enjoy football, stop the bullshit. Bă, om vedea, vedem, cine știe.